Hello there. My name is Holly Neff, and I just want to say thank you from a very grateful heart. Thank you for supporting your beauty consultant today. I am her sales director, and I am the one assigned to her success. And so your beauty consultant probably asked you to watch this video for one of two reasons. Either she's a brand new beauty consultant and she's working on her very first challenge called the Pearls of Sharing, or she might be a more seasoned beauty consultant who has made the decision to join our leadership team. Either way, you are a crucial part of her training, and from a very grateful heart, I say thank you. So what is today about? Well, I'm going to share with you how one word completely transformed my life. Now, I know I'm probably a stranger to many of you. So real quickly, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my Mary Kay journey. I'll also share with you the incredible story and the legacy of our founder, Mary Kay Ash. And most important for you and your beauty consultant, I'm going to share with you how we make our money and earn the use of free cars. Now, I want this to be fun and interactive. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is pause me real quick. And when you pause me, I would love it if you would go grab a sheet of paper and a pencil, because your feedback is so crucial and very, very important to me and your beauty consultant. And I'm going to ask you a couple quick questions throughout our few minutes together. And if you would just jot those answers down at the end of the call or the video, if you would just take a screenshot of that, send them over to your beauty consultant. That's how she receives credit, and it's how you get a prize from me. And don't we all love gifts? I think we do. So go ahead, pause me real quick, and I'll be here when you get back. Okay, are you back? Isn't technology great? So, as I mentioned, my name is Holly Neff, and I am a pink Cadillac sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Now, I bet you are already thinking, never in a million years would I ever drive a pink Cadillac. I thought the same thing too, but God does have a sense of humor. So I'm excited to share with you a little bit about my Mary Kay journey. Now, one thing that I know for sure is that God puts people in your path. So whatever path you are in the life of your beauty consultant, again, I just want to say thank you for your support, because I consider my beauty consultants, I call them my girls, they are part of my pink family. And so the fact that you are vested in her, I also want you to know that I'm 100% vested in her success as well. I'm a champion for her. I call myself her Pink Dreams Fight Club coach. And so thank you again for joining us today. Now, when I joined Mary Kay, it's been about 12 years now. I can't believe it. I joined Mary Kay 12 years ago. And when I am telling you I am the least likely person on the planet to do something crazy like this, I am the least likely person on the planet. And how do I know that? Well, I grew up washing my face with Stridex and Noxzema. Some of you are probably too young to even know what those products are, but basically they burned. And for those of you who've ever used Stridex and Noxzema, you probably use those products for the same reason that I use those products. Like, it's burning, it must be working, right? So I am the prodigal child of what not to do for your face. And so to imagine that I would be driving 8 free cars, 6 pink Cadillacs, I know there is someone up there in heaven just laughing her guts out. And I hope it's Mary Kay Ash. I hope that she is just so proud of that I get to carry on her legacy. So where was I before my Mary Kay journey? Because most people don't just fall into a pink Cadillac. Well, I was in corporate America. Now, I was one of those people that graduated from Texas A&M University with a biomedical science degree. And I graduated when the economy was really great. You remember that, when the economy used to be really great? Well, I graduated when the economy was great. And I was one of those people that was so fortunate to make a 6-figure income right out of school. Now, what I was doing in corporate America is I was in biotechnology sales, and I was selling synthetic DNA to researchers. And while that sounds really fancy, it was incredibly, let's just say, it wasn't the most fun thing I've ever done. Now, I appreciated my title, I appreciated the paycheck, but I found myself very unfulfilled. At the ripe old age of 27, I found myself on that corporate America rat race, just thinking, gosh, there's got to be more to life than this. Now, one thing I do know for sure, because I was raised by this incredible single mom who spent 35 years in corporate America. Growing up, she used to always tell me, Holly, when you work for someone else, you're going to be building their dreams and not your own. And when you work for someone else, they're going to control 2 things, your time and your paycheck. And she said, you young lady, you're not going to like that. Well, you know how sometimes we don't think our moms know anything? I thought I would be just fine. I'm like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Well, sure enough, I was 26, already on the treadmill, already getting that feeling on Sunday afternoon, like, ugh, tomorrow's Monday. And so I felt like I only had like 1.5 days of my weekend, because Sunday night I was already having that anxiety of having to go to work the next day. Now, I knew there was something more for me, but I never would have thought it would have been in the form of Mary Kay Cosmetics. But one thing I do know for myself, and I believe for you today, is that based on the information I'm going to share with you, you will have enough information today to decide if this is something that you might enjoy. Now, it may or may not be for you, and that's quite all right, but you might know someone that this would be a great opportunity for. So I just ask you to listen with an open mind and an open heart, and know that you are here today for a reason. So 12 years ago, I'm on the corporate America rat race, and a girlfriend of mine who was selling DNA with me tells me, I'm so excited, I joined Mary Kay Cosmetics. And I thought, you are crazy. Why did we go to school for you to sell lipstick? That is for old ladies. They have big hair, they drive tacky pink Cadillacs, and they have that blue eyeshadow. And she's like, no, girl, it is so much fun. Well, I thought she was a little nuts, so much that I offered to loan her money. But the more I did some soul searching and a little self-reflection, I realized she had something that I didn't have. She was having fun, she was doing something for herself, and she was bringing in extra cash. Now, I thought, oh goodness, this is not what your plan is for me, Lord, is it? Well, I am smart enough to know that when God places people and opportunities in your path, a wise person will listen and make an educated decision. So that's what I did. I went and gathered information. And so I went to this Mary Kay event, and I went with my arms crossed, my big corporate ego. And I was expecting like ladies to be really, really old. Well, to my surprise, they were normal. They were young and fun, and they were moms and wives and daughters. They were educated. One was a CPA, one was an OB-GYN. I thought, this is crazy. Like, this is like something I've never imagined. Did they drink something like pink Kool-Aid? What's going on? And the more I humbled myself and the more I looked around, I thought, you know what? These women have something that I don't have, and they have choices. Now, I did not have a life of choices when I was conforming to corporate America values and standards. You know, I felt like my family was kind of getting the leftovers, not the best of me. And I listened, just like I'm asking you to do. So the other thing that they had is they had control of their time and their paychecks. Well, that very much got my attention. But you know what really got my attention is when one of the sales directors shared that there were more women making a 6-figure income with Mary Kay Cosmetics than any other job on the planet. I couldn't believe it. I said, you got to be kidding me. She said, no. And so she actually pulled out a magazine called the Applause magazine, and she showed me the sales director's paychecks. And sure enough, I saw it from my own eyes. That's one thing I love about my background. I am a science person, so I like things in writing and I like facts, and numbers never lie. So I also knew, and I was raised to wanting a life of greater. And I knew if I had the desire for greater, that I was going to need to leave good enough behind. So I sat there and I listened. And that is when one word changed my life forever. So I'm going to ask you to grab your sheet of paper, and we're going to spell out the word pink. Okay? Let's start with the letter P. So what could P possibly stand for in the letter pink? Well, in my opinion, pink means people, purpose, and passion. And so I don't know about you, but I believe that God puts a purpose and a passion in our heart. And I also believe that He would give us the tools to fulfill those God-given desires. So one of my passions and my purpose is actually working with people who have cancer. So while the sales director was sharing the benefits and the perks of Mary Kay Cosmetics, she mentioned that there are no quotas and there are no territories. She also mentioned that we have something called the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation. And the main ministries in this foundation are to eradicate and eliminate 2 major crisis situations that we have going on in the world. One is we are hoping to eradicate and eliminate all female cancer. So our efforts are to support the research to reduce and eliminate all female cancers. The other main cause is to eliminate domestic violence for abused women and children. And I would venture to say, if you have not been in a situation that pertained to either one of those, I would venture to say you know someone who has. So I knew by joining Mary Kay Cosmetics, not only would it be a good decision for more choices in life, but it would be a good decision of the heart. And so I fell in love with the heart of the company. I actually joined for the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation. I told my sales director, I said, let's be clear, I will never drive a pink Cadillac, and I would rather die than be a sales director because I've got this big corporate job. But I did want to have a bigger influence on women. So I joined for the people. So let me ask you this. If you had more time and if you had more money, with whom would you spend that time and that money with and on? So by the letter P, I want you to write that down. If you had more time and more money, who would you spend that with and on? Now, specifically, what if I gave you $20,000 and I said you've got to spend this $20,000 in the next 48 hours? Now, who would you spend it on? And now, who would you spend that $20,000 with? So that's going to lead me to my next letter. Now, remember, I joined and I said, this is not going to be my career. This is just going to be something I do part-time. Well, you know, God has a plan, and God knew that right around the corner, in fact, 1 month to the day after I joined, I found out that my dad had 4 months to live. He had lung, liver, and spine cancer, and it was not looking good. And here's something really cool about my dad. I actually have a picture of him. My dad and I, can you see us? Can you see us? We're in Times Square right there. My dad and I taught me two things. He always said to have a zest for life, and that one of the greatest representations of a life well lived is the number of stamps in your passport. And so my dad and I, growing up, I used to chase whales with him, and we traveled all over. Well, this is my God story. So take a moment and look at where we are. Can you see where we are? We're in Times Square, New York. So chasing whales was one of my other passions, and traveling was another passion. Well, I'm 1 month into my journey, and my dad gets sick. And that is when I received news from my corporate job that they were not going to give me the time off that I needed to be with my family. And so at the ripe old age of 26, I decided that I would start living the values, not of corporate America standards, but the values of Mary Kay Ash's standards, to put God first, family second, and career third. And remember, that sales director had told me that there were more women making a six-figure income. And coincidentally or not, that was the amount of income I needed to replace to be able to be with my dad. So in 4 months, I became a sales director, and I earned my first free car. And then 4 months after that, I earned my second free car. And 8 months after that, I earned my third free car. And yes, would you believe, that was my very first pink Cadillac. Now, I was 27 years old, and I just made $15,000 in 1 month. Now, as I mentioned, I went to Texas A&M University, and there's all kinds of Aggie jokes about that school, but I am a smart Aggie. And so I looked back at my paychecks, and I had looked over my January, February, and my March commissions, and I had already put $43,000 in my checking account in 3 months. Now, I'm really good at math, and I multiplied that out, and I thought, holy smokes, if I just continue this, I will replace my six-figure income. And that's what I did. So at 27, I said, see you later, corporate America. I'm going to start living in the moment, putting my faith first, my family second, and then my career third. So that's what I did. So I'm going to talk to you about the next letter, I. So as you can imagine, the I in pink stands for income. Now, one thing I know about myself and most women and gentlemen, because we do have male consultants in our organization, is that we are show me the money people, and we're also really great at math. So if you're not great at math, we're going to get great at math. I have a dry erase board. Okay, so how do we make our income? I stands for income. How do we earn our money in Mary Kay? Now, here's our best kept secret. Write this down next to the letter I. Our best kept secret is that we make 50% on everything we sell. We are the highest paid home-based business out there, 50%. That also means that we get a 50% discount on our own personal products. So this is what it looks like. We put the products on, we wash them off, they go down the drain, reorder, bam! And so that's how this is such a beautiful business. So here's how we make our money. I'm gonna show you short and sweet. Remember, I asked you, if I gave you $20,000 and you had to spend it in the next 48 hours, with whom would you spend it on, and what would you do with it? So here's how I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to give you the mathematical equation right now. So let's just say that my suggestion to you would be for you to add 2 new customers a week. That's it, 2 new skincare customers. So we're going to have 2 skincare customers. There's your 2, okay? Now, I hope you're writing this down. My goal is for you to build 2 customers a week. So we're going to multiply that by about 50 weeks in a year. You're not going to work every single week. No big deal. I don't either. Okay, that would be 100 new customers. Are you with me? 100 new customers. Now, our average consultant orders the #1 best-selling skincare system, the Miracle Set, every 3 months. And would you believe that the Miracle Set is $100? And would you also believe that it washes down the drain? And so people have to reorder it. So let's just say the average customer that orders the Miracle Set 4 times a year, every 90 days, the average customer spends $400 a year with you. Okay, there's your $400 a year. Now, we're going to multiply 100 times 400. So let's do some math right here. And we're going to draw that out. Now, most people get this math problem wrong. There are 4 zeros here, ladies and gentlemen. So $40,000 in a year by building just 2 customers a week. Now, here's my question. What is our best kept secret? How much money do we make on the sales of our products? That's right, 50%. So you're going to divide this number by 2, and bam, here's an extra $20,000 for your household by building 2 customers a week, $20,000. Now, with the age of Facebook and social media and texting and Twitter and every other thing that we have going on out there, do you think you could find 2 people with skin every single week? I bet you could. And you know why our prereq is just people with skin? Because we have a men's line, we have a women's line, and we have a children's line. So anybody who has skin could be a potential customer for you. So that is how we earn our extra cash. Now, 85% of my consultants are busy. They do something else with their time. Some of them are moms, some of them work, but they can sprinkle in their Mary Kay business in their daily life. And I think that's really, really important. So here's the other thing. We can earn the use of free cars. Now, I've driven 8 free cars, 6 pink Cadillacs. I call myself a momtrepreneur. I have 2 children. I had 2 babies under 2. I have done Mary Kay single. I have done Mary Kay married. I've done Mary Kay on bed rest. I've done Mary Kay with 2 babies under 2. Now my children are 6 and 8, and both of them came home from the hospital in pink Cadillacs. So when you earn the use of a free car, Mary Kay pays your car note, your tax title and license, and up to 85% of your car insurance for you, a spouse, and 2 teenage drivers. Yes, you, a spouse, and 2 teenage drivers. So I ask, if you were to earn a free car, Mary Kay, would you take the car or would you take the cash? You're like, well, tell me about the cash. What is the cash option? I'm so glad you asked. Our first level of cars are consultant level cars. It's a Chevy Cruze. If you don't want that car, you can take $425 a month cash. And then we have sales director level cars. The cash options on those are $500. It's a Chevy Equinox currently. And then after that, of course, are our pink Cadillacs. Now, if I did not want my pink Cadillac, okay, I could get a $900 a month cash option. And the beautiful part is that we get a new car every other year. So next to that letter I, would you jot down for me, would you take the car or the cash? Okay, great. And then finally, N. N stands for no quotas, no territories, no glass ceilings, and no sticky floors. So in Mary Kay, you decide to promote yourself. We are not a multi-level marketing company. We're not a pyramid. We're the only debt-free cosmetics company in the world. And it's really important to me. So my job is to support my beauty consultant, not take money off of her bottom dollar. So no quotas, no territories. In my opinion, that means nothing to lose and everything to gain. And worst case scenario, with a 50% discount on your own personal products, you'll look twice as good for half the price. So who wouldn't? Now, if you noticed in the letter N, I also put new experiences. Remember I told you about my dad? Well, after about a year, he had passed away from brain cancer. And I was devastated, but I knew that God's plan and his timing was perfect. And so I knew this was going to be part of my Mary Kay journey. The reason I became a sales director was to be home with my dad and to take care of him. Now, would you believe he passed away on September 11th, in 2006, on September 11th. And so last year, Mary Kay announced that the top sales director trip was to Alaska. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's where my parents went on their honeymoon. If I'm ever going to earn a trip, I want to earn the trip to Alaska. So with belief and persistence, and from the gift from the good Lord above, my unit was recognized as a top unit in Mary Kay. And so my husband and I went on an all expense paid trip to Alaska. Now here's the best part and how things come full circle if you just believe and you just step out in faith. Would you believe that the one and only day that I went whale watching in Alaska was on September 11th? And I have a picture to show you. So this is my husband and I in Alaska on September 11th. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it? We are holding box crabs in this picture. But imagine being in Alaska with your man on a glorious summer day, because it was still warm there. And to your right, you see humpback whales, and to your left, you see orcas or killer whales on the anniversary of the day that your dad passed away. I knew that God had put me in the right place at the right time. So here's my trip to Alaska. Now, the other thing that my dad and I always did is we traveled together, right? As my mom and I did too. Now, in addition to the trip to Alaska, Mary Kay also announced another contest where if our unit exceeded the previous year's record, we could be featured in Times Square on a billboard. So where was my first trip with my dad? Well, it was New York. Where did we go? Times Square. So thank you, Lord. This is a picture of me in Times Square. Now, who do you think I took to Times Square to see this photo? Why, yes, you guessed, my beautiful children. So their first trip to New York with their mom and dad was to see their mom on a billboard in Times Square. Where did they learn to ice skate? You guessed it, Central Park. Now, I want to know, what new experiences could you create for your spouse or your family? Or if you're older, what could you create for your grandchildren? Would it be trips? Would it be travel? Would it be paying off debt? Maybe paying for someone's college education? What about giving more money to your church? Would that be a blessing to just write a check? Now remember, with just 2 customers a week, you can have that $20,000 too. So in closing, I'm going to wrap it up. What does the letter K stand for? Well, K stands for your kit. And this right here is your kit. And this is your starter kit. You get over $425 of full-size products for $100. So that in itself is a great investment. It's filled. Look, can you see everything in here? It's 2 miracle sets, not 1, but 2. Our eye makeup remover, your CC creams, mascara, all of your business supplies. You have $600 combined of business supplies and full-size products in here for $100. Now, the other thing that you get is you get a guarantee that you can't fail. And how do I know you can't fail? Well, 2 reasons. 1, Mary Kay offers a 90% buyback guarantee, which means if you try and you don't enjoy your 50% discount, or you really hate that extra cash that's coming in, right? You can sell your products back to the company and they will write you a check. The other reason I know that you cannot fail is because I'm assigned to your success. You get me. And so I want you to know that if you have the guts and the grit and the belief and the desire to pull something fabulous out of that starter kit, I can promise you that I will be here to help you uncover or rediscover maybe some of those pink dreams that you suppressed. Remember those dreams we used to have? You know, I haven't met a woman on the planet that wouldn't love more confidence, more independence, to be more generous, more time, more hope. That's what we sell in Mary Kay. We sell hope and belief. And in fact, we just opened up our 36th market. We opened up Mary Kay Peru in Colombia, where our mission is to show women all over the world that they can be, do, and have it all. Just like Mary Kay Ash, our founder, suggested. Now, she started this company over 50 years ago with her family's $5,000. We're worth almost $5 billion right now. Now, can you imagine that one woman took a chance on me, on someone she's never even met? She's passed away. So imagine if you took a $100 chance on yourself. What could come out of your starter kit? Would it be people and purpose and passion? Would it be income? Would it be new experiences? Right? What could be a blessing for you? So let's review what your sheet should look like. So by the letter P, I'm hoping that you put with whom and what would you spend money on. By the letter I want to know, would you take the car or the cash? Okay. By the letter N, if you would just jot down one thing that surprised you about the letter N, is it that we don't have quotas, that we don't have territories, that you can have new experiences? And by the letter K, I would love for you to write down what could come out of your starter kit. So we're going to wrap up, and in closing, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. I know you were such a blessing to your beauty consultant's life, and therefore you're a blessing to mine. I just want to say thank you. I love you. God bless you. And I hope to see you at training real soon. Bye.